Tom here from Lawrence Systems, and we're going to talk about how to track how much data each interface, whether that interface is a VPN, a VLAN, or any interface you have set up in pfSense, how much data each interface has used. Now, I said interface and not IP address because if you would like more granular per IP tracking, I have a video linked down below to ntopng. That'll give you the more granular flow data that is going between, well, all the different IP addresses, internal and external, and it does have some cumulative numbers on here. But this is specifically about the traffic totals plugin that will work in both pfSense CE or pfSense Plus, and it is not particularly hard on your system, such as ntopng I'd mentioned in another video, that yes, it takes quite a bit more processor to run because it's tracking a lot more detail. Just accumulating the traffic totals, pretty easy with this package. Now, the first place I want to start is in the pfSense documentation, which I'll leave a link to this. And there are several utilities for monitoring bandwidth usage, especially things like pftop and iftop, and they're really good for real-time bandwidth monitoring. There is also the dark stat, which is really pretty simple too and lightweight. ntopng, as I said, is linked down below. It is a lot more of a heavyweight system and not ideal for low-powered pfSense devices. So if you don't have something with enough speed to run it or enough storage, it will probably choke your firewall and cause you some drama. Going down here, let's go over to the traffic totals page because there is a quick note in here. Every NIC is added on install. So if a NIC is added or removed on the firewall, remove the package and install again. If the firewall has data for a NIC, vnstat will report the data even if the NIC has been removed. So please note that this is an important thing. If you're setting your firewall up, don't install this until you've got all the firewall interfaces installed on there. Not necessarily configured, but specifically they're talking about if they're installed, because I did add my WireGuard after I installed this and it was able to pick it up. But the WireGuard virtual interface that is assigned an interface is not the same as adding a NIC exactly. Now it's currently July of 2022, and this is the latest version of traffic totals and how it looks. So I wanted to pull that up and show you that I've had this package installed, but it's, like I said, relatively easy to install. Just go to the package manager and look for status traffic totals. Now, once you have it in, head over to status, hit the traffic totals, and you can pretty much configure it from here really easily. And now I say easily, this is all the settings for it. So you select the interfaces you want to monitor. You can select all the interfaces and hit update graphs, but I have it selected a few less interfaces. And the reason why is because, especially on the daily, when you have a lot of interfaces, it does this and stops displaying these totals. Now you can still see them here as you mouse over back and forth. This is the daily. We can go to the monthly, or we can go to the hourly and see the different traffic spikes, but it has a hard time displaying things when you have that many interfaces all the way across like that. It displays them in some of the views, but it sometimes has trouble in the others. But if you go to, and we'll just reload this page, and only select the specific interfaces you're looking for, so we'll choose NSFW LAN, then I also would like to see LTS TOM, my two VPNs here, display advanced, and we'll say save as default. Now the default when I come here will just display those ones, and then we hit update graphs, and it will just display things that I think are the most important right now. But you can always go back in here and change your defaults or change which one it's on and only view one, for example. So if we only wanted to see what kind of data my demo lab is doing, I can choose demo lab and hit update graphs. And we're going to focus in on that. It's still going to keep accumulating on the other interfaces. It's just we're narrowing down what the display is. Now, on that note, if you wanted to grab a couple interfaces and maybe look at LTS TOM and get an idea of the VPN and compare it to WAN, and the reason I'm comparing all these, you could actually now get an idea of what data goes across the VPN from the LTS TOM network that does allow traversal over the VPN versus what's going over the WAN. That's what's going over today. What happens on month by month basis, you can kind of get a different idea from when I set this up around November of last year. But if we look at WAN in general without looking at the other interfaces, we'll hit update graphs. And this one starts in November as well. But let me think, when did some of these did not start, like Demo Lab. There's no data because Demo Lab wasn't created until more recently, but it gets you an idea of all the data you can look at on there. Let's go back and look at the LTS TOM and the WAN, PIA VPN, and that update graphs, display advanced, and we see an option here for exporting as a CSV. So we're going to go ahead and export the CSV. Open the file, and it's just a standard CSV file with all the interfaces listed. And of course, doing it in a spreadsheet like this allows you to get some more cumulative data, make some analysis, and make some decisions on it. And that's it for the plugin. It's really that simple. And you can run this even on your basic SG1100, the most basic offering from Netgate. It works with any of the firewalls without taxing them too much. If you have a more powerful unit and you would like to run something like ntop to get that more granular data, awesome, go ahead and do that. But a lot of people, they just want to know how much bandwidth they're using, maybe how much bandwidth goes out the VPN, and start tracking down things like, whether or not you're going to hit your bandwidth caps or how close you are. And it's better for you to know that before maybe your ISP, if you're unfortunate enough to have an ISP that has bandwidth caps. There's going to be a lot of debate that probably in the comments, but as a lot of them seem to be moving that way, people do want to kind of track exactly how much bandwidth they're using so they can kind of calculate what their bill might be or when they may need to pre-purchase more bandwidth. I'm hoping the ISPs start moving away from that here, but unfortunately more of them seem to be moving towards it. But leave your comments and thoughts down below, questions, comments, concerns. If you want a more in-depth discussion, head over to our forums. Thanks. And thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you've enjoyed the content, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to see more content from this channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. If you'd like to hire us for a project, head over to lawrencesystems.com and click the Hire Us button right at the top. To help this channel out in other ways, there's a join button here for YouTube and a Patreon page where your support is greatly appreciated. For deals, discounts, and offers, check out our affiliate links in the description of all of our videos, including a link to our shirt store where we have a wide variety of shirts that we sell, and designs come out, well, randomly, so check back frequently. And finally, our forums. Forums.lawrencesystems.com is where you can have a more in-depth discussion about this video and other tech topics covered on this channel. Thanks again for watching and look forward to hearing from you.